Hello, hello. Oh, there we go. Hello, hello. Come in, come in. Hello, everyone. Let's see. Who all do we have in here today? Welcome, everyone. I hope you're having a good day today. Come in, come in. I have a friend with me today, so come in and say hi to Miss Tamika. We are talking financing and funding today. So if you come on in, I'll introduce you and we can say hi. So come in, come in. Usually I have about, we'll see it in a hot second because there's going to be a ton of folks saying, hey, if I have the right channel, actually. Think of that. Hello, hello. Come in, come in. So today we are going to be discussing funding your business. So if you are ever interested in getting funding, expanding your business, buying machine equipment, whatever the case may be, then this is the chat you need to be watching. This is the live stream. So Miss Jeannie, hi Miss Jeannie, welcome, welcome. Appreciate you being here. Hey Miss Sheila Cushionberry. These are a lot of my regular folks that come in and join us in our chat, and I really appreciate it. Hi Terry from Florida, your first live and you love my videos. Thank you. That's so sweet. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Very, very much. And also, don't forget, let me know if you have a new machine so we can ring the bell for you. We have a thing where if a person gets a new embroidery machine or sewing machine or cutting machine, we'll ring the bell for them. So we gotta, let me reach over and grab our bell. So it's sitting right here. We didn't ring it last week, so I'm gonna see if anybody got any new equipment today. All right. So today we're going to be asking questions about funding. So if you have questions, go ahead, write them down. It's raining here, so I don't know if it's raining where you are and it's lagging. Usually we have a whole lot going on. Hey, Miss Glam Glam, how are you? Oh, Terry, you got a new singer. Oh. All right, we're going to be ringing that bell for you at the end, girl. So don't let me forget. Don't let me forget. Matter of fact, let me write you down because I know I'll forget to ring it for you. Congratulations on your new machine, girl. I appreciate you letting me know. Who in here has looked at getting funding before? Now, I know a lot of us in here do this for not fun, that's the wrong word, but for a hobby. So for those of you who are interested in expanding your business and getting funding, we have a financial expert here with us, Miss Tamika, and she actually teaches financing. She teaches credit repair. She also has access for business funding if you're interested in getting funding. We got money in here, y'all. We got money. Hey, we're going to get us some money today. So she's going to let us know what it takes to get money. Because I know, as I mentioned to her before I came on live with you guys, that I remember years ago when I first married my husband, and he had his own business, and we would try and get funding for his business even back then. So you're talking about 20 years ago, and every door was shut in our face, even the Small Business Administration. So I was always so frustrated with getting funding, and I was like, okay, see, what are we doing wrong? But we never knew to turn to a financial expert, which now we have. Right. I still don't have funding, don't want it right now. Don't want it right now. I just bought my house. I'm going to do like a couple of steps at a time. But for those of you who may be interested, please make sure you note your question. So I'm going to go back and say hello to the others that are coming in. Miss Tracy Etheridge, welcome. I appreciate you coming in again. Darling, good to see you. Miss Kizzy, Miss Joni Thurman, yes, everything is great. I appreciate you and your well wishes. Miss Beckup, hi, how are you, darling? From Miss Tracy Jones, also Ronnie's Raps. This is Veronica from Ronnie's Raps in Florida. This is your first live program and love your presentations. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for letting me know, because as I mentioned many times, it's hard to know that being effective or to make sure you get the information you want and the information you need. So thank you for letting me know that. Janet McKinney, hello, darling. Carol Coleman, hey, doll, how are you? Miss Ethel, hi. Little Miss Boutique, hello. Gayleen, welcome home farm. Happy to be here again. Thank you. I appreciate you being here again. Debbie Kidd and Valerie Hill, hello, hello. So we're going to go ahead and turn things over to Miss Tamika because she's the expert. I'm not. When I decided to do this, I was like, ooh, what can I tell them? And I was like, you know what? I can't tell y'all nothing because I'm not good at getting the finances done. As a matter of fact, I still struggle with my own personal, and I'm probably going to, hook up with her after this for my own personal gain. So, yeah, but let's get into business funding. So, oh, it's fuzzy. You're streaming from a different device. It's a little fuzzy. No, it's the same one, so I'm not sure. You may need to refresh the browser, like F5. If anybody else is having any issues, please let me know in the chat. But I have it direct connect to the internet, no Wi-Fi, so hopefully, maybe it's just, a different stream or something. Thank you, Maria. I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Hi, Miss Catherine Hill and Tanya Williams and Dawn Thompson from New Zealand. I often get ones from Canada, New Zealand, and New England, actually. Quite awesome. A few. Yeah, awesome. Everybody's really cool.
Hi, Carol.
Yes.
To you, too.
So let's see what she has to say about this business funding, because I think, here, let me get you slide up a little bit. That might be what's wrong. So what should a business owner know? We as business owners, what is the first thing we should think of when we're approaching the idea of doing funding?
Well, the first thing you want to think about, there's two things actually. And the first thing is going to personal credit.
Okay.
As we talked a little bit about before, the myth is that if you own a business, you're able to just go and get business funding. And that is not actually fact.
Wow.
The second thing is going to be that your business is going to need to be an LLC or an incorporation, not a Schedule C.
Okay.
Because it's harder to obtain business funding as just a sole proprietor business. So the first thing you want to do is incorporate your business. And the reason why you want to incorporate it and it not be just a sole proprietorship is because when you're doing the business funding, even though some lenders may request a P, which is personal guarantee.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Some may request that. But let's say you've had the business for 5 or 6 years, and then something happens and you file a bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. When you file a bankruptcy as a Schedule C or sole proprietor, everything falls on you personally.
Oh, wow.
So anything that you've obtained with your personal credit, all is going to fall on your personal credit. Now, if you are incorporated and let's say the same scenario happens, you've been 5 or 6 years and you file bankruptcy, then they're going after the business. It's going to be off of the business assets, anything that the business owns.
Wow.
So you don't have to, your personal life or personal credit won't be affected by that.
Wow.
So you definitely want to incorporate the business. So that means you want to have an 1120S. Which is an S corp.
Okay.
Or you want to just do a regular incorporation, which is a 5. You want to do a corporation.
Okay.
And the first thing in doing that is that you have to build a business plan. When we start businesses as a Schedule C, we don't do a business plan because all you have to do is get an EIN number and you're rocking and rolling.
I don't have one.
Right. So you're rocking and rolling. So you want to make sure that you set up a business plan. And that's one of the things that my company does. We customize business plans for individuals that need businesses.
Okay.
We help you build financials for that business. So we set you up so that you can have a true business plan and everything in place so that when you try for business funding.
Okay.
But to go back to the main thing is you're going to have to depend on your personal credit.
Okay.
Now, they don't actually put any of the business debt on your personal credit. But what they do is they look at it and they say, wait, she can't pay her personal debt. How is she going to be able to pay me? And that even applies if you have business credit.
Okay.
And that's the thing with having the personal credit set up and in place. This is how you start getting.
Okay.
There are different ones that you can do that won't fall on your personal credit, which would be like net 30s, net 55s.
Okay.
Kind of like having an Amex card or an American Express card.
Okay.
We all know that with American Express, if you use it, you have to pay the full balance.
Right.
Well, they've changed that now a little bit. So depending on the type of business card that you get, they'll offer you, they'll allow you to do a portion of that amount
neat.
that you do. But
Didn't know
originally, when you think back on it, that's the first thing you think about. That was what they stood on, is that whatever you use, you owe the next month.
That is correct.
And so that's going to be the same thing when it applies to having a net 30 or a net 55. That means that whatever you use in 30 days, they need you to pay the full balance.
Okay.
Whatever you use in 55 days, they need you to pay the full balance. Right.
Okay.
So you can do those and build business credit. The problem, and I don't want to say problem, the issue with that is it takes a very long time to build business credit that way.
Wow.
So to step away from that portion, now if you have all the time in the world, then I would suggest doing the net 30s and the net 55s.
Okay.
And when any individual that works with us provides you with all of the companies that will allow you to do a net 30.
Oh, neat.
Will allow you to do
I was going to ask that.
So we have tons of companies that will let you come in and open up accounts with them and buy personal things. And most of those things are, one that used to be was Geringer, I think it is, and they're no longer doing it anymore. They went out of business. It's like an outdoor store.
Okay, yeah.
Camping gear and all that. Right.
They are closed now.
Right, they closed.
Yeah.
But they would actually allow you to do a net 30 or net 55 with them to help you build business credit. But there are tons of other places. And the way that we provide those with you is based off of the company in itself. So if that company comes and they're like, listen, for you as an embroidery company, we'd say, hey, you want to try Staples, because Staples is going to have these supplies that you need. Okay. You want to try, I don't know any of
probably like maybe a thread company or something.
You want to do something that you're gonna need. Some of those things that you're gonna need. So as I say, when we customize the business plan, we also customize that will be available for you to buy. Oh. Now, some of those don't ask for a personal guarantee, but we have those that do. Okay. So there in itself, if you know you have a 400 credit score and you're trying to get you're trying to get business credit, they're gonna come back and they're gonna say, no, right, we can't do that. Right. And what they do is some will say no, and it'll just be a no. Okay. Then you'll have some that'll say no, but what you can do is you can pay for all of these things up front. And if you do that with us for 6 months, then on month 7, if you order something, we'll allow you to do a net 30. Oh, neat. Okay. So that is a way that you can still get in. But personal credit, and I can't say it again, but I will, personal credit. Wow. Personal credit is going to be what you need in order to get your business started, especially for business funding. Now, for small businesses, either way, small business, big business, you got to have personal credit to be able to do that. Now, we talk about Walmart, Target. They don't need. Right. They don't need personal credit. Right. They already know that the business credit with them is through the roof. So they're going to write. Right. So they know that they're going to have the revenues coming in. Mm-hmm. Now, another thing that is an option is that if you have a business bank account, and you have revenues that are coming in consistently over a 30-day period, you have some lenders that will do a bank statement funding, which is as long as we see what you're bringing in, then we'll give you money we'll give you a percentage of funds based off of
your regular income. Neato. Okay. So it's important to have a business. Well, it's helpful to have a business bank account separate from your personal business, so that you can easily see
because
what's
they can't
coming
see
in.
Because they can't. It doesn't matter. And then here's a sneak. I always tell people, it doesn't matter if you have the business bank account and you take personal funds and transfer it over into the business. Because what happens is they don't know that it's personal funds from your personal account into your business account. Oh, okay. So they're looking at it going, okay, well, this is the revenues that are coming in each month. So they're going to base it off of business funds. Okay. Okay. All right, Joni, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yes. The difference in an LLC. LLC is a limited liability corporation. So that just means that limited liabilities or limited debt will fall on that business. The corporation, which is incorporation, everything falls on the corporation. Okay. The limited liability, only a specific amount of things will be applied towards your business. Okay. Meaning in a negative standpoint. if you're going, as our scenario was before, if you're going bankrupt,
right,
certain things will be able to fall on your limited liability business. But LLCs or incorporation is the way that you want to go. And it sounds like a lot of work, but it definitely is not that drastic to do. You can apply for the LLC. All of these things you can do on IRS online. You can do everything online. Whatever state that you're in, you can go to the Secretary of State of whatever state you're in and go ahead and start that. And it, of course, has a fee when you apply for those specific things. And then, so you can apply and get the business.
I think North Carolina is 125 or something like that.
It is.
Yeah.
What should your personal credit be? Terry, what should your personal credit score be to begin seeking business funding? They're going to want you to be high 600s, 700s to get business funding. Okay. And for me personally, when I did business funding, I did a bigger amount of business funding for my business because I own a nonprofit organization. So I wanted bigger funds. Okay. And my business that I do now. So for me, when I applied for $350,000, I had to have the score that I had, which is 750 was that I had. Okay. And what they did was they pulled my personal credit, but they also looked at my business credit. Okay. To make sure, okay, so she's got business credit and she's paying that good.
Right.
She's got a 750 personal score. She's paying that good. I like my odds. Right. They're like, we like the odds when they're weighing the odds. So they're like, yes. So we're going to go for it. Should I start out just with an EIN first? The EIN is going to apply for any business that you have. It's going to apply for the Schedule C, which is the sole proprietorship. It's going to apply for the LLC, and it's going to apply for the incorporation or the corporation. Now, the difference in it is, I know that Eve and I were talking about before, is a DUNS number. Some lenders are going to ask you for your Dun and Bradstreet. Even if you are a Schedule C, you need your DUNS number. Okay. It doesn't cost anything, and it is something that you want to have because whether you realize it or not, some of the lenders will turn down if you don't have the DUNS number. Wow. You can go to Dun and Bradstreet and grab that number. It's free. Costs you nothing. It just takes a little bit of time for you to get it, but you want to have it. So definitely look that up or Google to be able to get that. So you do want to have the DUNS number. And when you have a bigger corporation, the DUNS number is imperative to have. Right. But basically, in order to start the funding, you want to have a good personal score.
Now, I want to make sure with the Schedule C, that is the filing type or how you file with the IRS.
Tax returns,
but the Schedule C basically stands for someone who is a sole proprietor or partnership.
It's a sole proprietor.
Only sole proprietor.
Partnership is your incorporation.
Okay.
So, and Bonnie, you need to do an LLC or corp first. It doesn't matter which one you want to do. When I did mine, I just went straight for a corporation. I just incorporated my business. It didn't make a difference. The only difference it was maybe about $50 more that I had to pay to the Secretary of State. So, but either one that you want works. It looks so much better when you have the corporation behind your business. So you can be Embroideries Inc. That looks so much better than just your sole proprietorship. So go for the corp. If you can afford to pay the extra funds to get the corporations in place, then definitely do that. But understand that if you do not have a business plan in place, they are not going to consider you for any type of business funding because they're not going to take your.
Wow. Okay.
Tanya, how do you obtain it? How do we obtain what?
The EIN, if that's what you're asking for, that's at the irs.gov. That much I do know. If you're looking at how to become an LLC or incorporate, that would be your Secretary of State. So whatever state you live in, like mine is the Department of Revenue, Secretary of State of North Carolina. It is. So we would go there. Now, if you're talking about the Dun and Bradstreet number,
I think it's duns.com. So DUNS. If you type in Duns number, not the number sign, but Duns number, it'll give you the link that you need. Duns number for the Dun and Bradstreet. And it's just I think it's a 6 or 7 digit number. And before I knew any better, I had went and applied for it. didn't even know what I was doing with it. But then when I started applying for business funding, they kept asking me for the DUNS number.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, that must be that number that I applied for. It's the number that they use. Bonnie, I apologize. It's the number that they use to verify your business in itself, the credit that your business may have, anything that's going on with your business financially wise, the DUNS number applies to that.
Right. And
you definitely need that for a grant, Tanya. As I said, I own a nonprofit organization. You have to have your DUNS number. And you also have to be on SAM's list too, SAMS, when you're doing your grant, because that makes you public, so that everybody knows that you are a nonprofit and blah, blah, blah for all of that. But there's a lot of things. Our company offers a lot of things for small businesses. We help you along the way. All of the roads that I was on, the rocky roads that I was on, going left when I should have been right, going right when I should have went left. I teach that to all of the small business owners now, going, you don't want to do that. This is why.
Right.
Let's go this way. Don't do that yet. And here's why.
Right.
You know, I'm that person. It's kind of like when you have kids, you try to tell them, I did that. You don't want to do that.
Right. Like, which is why I appreciate you being here. Because that's one of the things I try to do. Because in my journey to doing embroidery, there was a lot of questions I had and no one to answer them. So that's the reason for my channel, is to help teach. So then when it comes to this, it's like,
oh, thank you, Tanya.
Yeah, right. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Sylvia, you need funds. Definitely give me, I think my website is in
the description below.
The description below.
Yes.
I'm not sure if my phone number is in there.
I did.
Okay.
I was kind of skeptical about that, but I did put her business number.
It's my office number, so you have to get through the secretary anyway to be able to get to me, so that's fine. So you can call the office number, and reach me. You just make sure you tell them that you're trying to reach Tamika, or they'll send you to one of my agents instead of me. So just make sure that you're trying to reach me and let me know that you saw me on
the baby's booty.
The baby's booty live, and I'll know exactly who you are.
Right.
But most definitely, funding is the way to go, because at some point you end up using all of your personal funds. This is how we end up getting in trouble, because we think that we can fund. Even when it's hobbies, we think we can fund our hobbies, or we think that we can, and it gets to be overwhelming, which is one of the things that I've done. I've started and ended thousands of businesses only because I couldn't afford to keep them going. So this time I kind of did a lot of research and figured out what was going to be best for me money-wise. I couldn't keep putting my own money in, because my husband was like, listen.
That's mine right now, girl.
My husband was like,
mine right now. He probably
what
watching.
What are we doing? So I was like, I better start getting some funding, or I'm going to be divorced.
Right,
So I started working towards getting the funding, and I'm glad that I did. Now, understand this. You have to be willing to negate fear, because fear will punch a hole in everything that we want to do. It will stop you from doing anything. And trust me, when they're asking you for all of these personal things, they're asking you for your bank statements, your tax returns. I was reluctant. I was very, very reluctant. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not giving you all of that. But then I just said, listen, how are you going to do everything that you want to do if you don't trust these companies to do it for you? So I stepped out there, I kicked away the fear, and ended up getting the funding and everything that I needed to have. So
now I do see this question. Joni Thurman asked, if we're not seeking a business loan right now, do we still need LLC or incorporate?
You don't have to have that. You can still keep your Schedule C. When you file your taxes for your business on your returns, you're filing a Schedule C return. However, when you do decide that you want business funding, you're a step backwards in your business because you haven't incorporated. So make sure that once you go from one to the other, that you have your taxes and everything filed correctly, because that's going to play a part. So if you're going to go from Schedule C to an incorporation, all of those dates need to match up, or it's going to be an issue. So make sure you do that. So that's why I just said there was no reason for me to continue to be a Schedule C, because in my mind, whether I wanted it now or later, in my mind, I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and incorporate this business so that when I'm actually truly ready for funding, I don't have to worry about that stuff.
Good point. Didn't think about that. So thank you guys for your questions, and of course, continue to ask them. Feel free, whatever questions you have with financing and funding. Now, one thing I did want to point out about Miss Tamika, which is so dad blame cool, and I did put the links below. She's written books on funding and financing and finances and how to deal with your finances. And she wrote a children's book.
Yes,
so there's a kids book too, so that the babies can learn about funding and financing and credit now while they're young, which is one of the things I've preached for a long time. They teach everything else in school,
but no finance,
but nothing about financing, nothing about credit.
No.
Came out of school knowing nothing.
And that's where this came from. The thought of writing the books, and then the thought of when I was doing, my husband was like, "Oh my God, these self-help books, I can't take it," because he was like, "There's nothing, there's nobody getting killed, there's no police, there's no action in the books." So my husband reads, but he likes reading adventure.
That's funny.
So I said, you know what, I'm gonna focus on kids, because I thought back when my children were growing up and going out of the house. I said, "Wow, they're not ready." I mean, and that was huge for me.
Yeah.
And I know that it's huge, and I know that I'm saying this, and I'm not the only one that has gone through this cycle of my kids have graduated and they're not ready.
Yeah.
Kids graduate never even being talked about. Sheila, that was my whole point. That was my whole point. And I said, my daughter, well, my oldest son is 28. So when he moved out and was doing his own thing, he called me one day and he goes, "Mom, I would never have known about what it takes to manage anything out here if you didn't do finances."
Right.
So my son, my youngest son now, who's actually in college, we go back and forth because, we get to see his bank account. So we get to see what he's spending his money on.
Right.
We see what he spends his money on. And it just so happened he was just blowing his money. And I told my husband, I said, "We're not giving him any more money." And he goes, "But what about we're not giving him any more money?" So for the first 2 months, he wasn't getting any money. So he was having to generate his own money on his own. And he was like, "I'm not working right now, you know what?" Because he left his job. Doesn't matter, because you're not being responsible with the money that you have now. So he now he goes, he's like, "Mom, I have $300 in my account. I can't spend it on anything." But growing
that baby
up,
learned the hard way.
But growing up, I remember that my parents never talked to us about money.
Wow.
They never talked to us about bills. They never talked to us about responsibility. They never had that discussion with us, so we never knew it. And I tell when I talk about my story, growing up and everything that I went through and having kids young, I tell people one of the things that is important to me is that I make sure that I teach my children something that wasn't taught to me.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong, and I tell my mom, and I tell my dad, don't get me wrong, you guys did what you thought was best for me.
Exactly.
But when you have children young and in your mind, you're only thinking, I can't wait for them to get 18. Because when they turn 18, then you are gone, right? But the thing about it is we're so stuck on just trying to get them to 18. We're not teaching them anything that they need to learn.
Exactly.
So when they're gone. And I tell people, and then we wonder why our kids are going through so much turmoil out here.
And coming back home.
Right. So I wrote the book, and I started out, the book is called Morgan Saves for College. And it starts the age of 9.
Wow.
And she has a birthday, and her grandmother, who lives with them, decides to give her money for her birthday. Okay. So she is torn because she's trying to figure out what toy she wants to spend her money on, even though she has everything.
Wow.
So it became more than I expected it to become.
Cool.
That book ended up being a bestseller. I was on the top. Wow. I was on number 5. Yes, on Amazon.
We're gonna have to bring her to bed.
Right, it was in the top 5. Cool. And it's a series. So the next book comes out in March. Yeah, so I'm very excited.
Yay! So
oh
if
my
you're
God,
in,
Sylvia, so glad to have you from Puerto Rico.
oh yeah,
Oh my God,
she's a constant. I love Miss
it.
Sylvia. Yeah, definitely. So you know what, you guys, if you're in the Google Plus group, as soon as her book drops, I'm gonna put a link out there. So look for that. I'm super excited for that book.
Right,
I ain't even got the first book yet, and I'm ready for the second one. That is phenomenal. And this is the thing. We have to prepare not only, and this is what I'm finding out in my conversations I've been having with her and hearing personal credit, personal guarantor, personal credit. It starts here.
Yeah.
You know, you can do everything for your business, but at some point this has to be in place.
It has to.
And that's where I know I need improvement.
Yeah.
Because my business is there and I'm making money, but this part isn't all the way together with the finances and keeping track with everything. So yes, I will definitely be turning into Miss Tamika myself. And again, as I mentioned, there's links in the description below. This is only because I know it was needed. I don't get any kickbacks. I haven't discussed doing anything. Like I told her, let folks know because it's needed and we need accurate information. Not just, some information that somebody got off of the internet.
Right.
So Tanya Williams earlier stated she opened a separate account, and if it can't come from there, I don't get it.
Right.
As a single mother, I have to keep household separate from my business.
You do. Yes, ma'am, you do. And sometimes that can be hard to do, but that's it's discipline. So that is so good to see that, Tanya, because when it comes to owning a business, the one thing that we have to have is discipline.
Yeah. Miss Beckham says, where were you when I started out?
Oh my God.
I know that's right, girl. Shoot. Kids graduate never even being taught to balance an account.
No.
Sheila Cushenberry, I made my daughter go grocery shopping with me and stay in the checkout to see the balance, and it was a real eye-opener for her.
Oh, Sheila, my son had to buy his first pair of tennis shoes, and he was floored. He was floored. He didn't know. Oh gosh, because
hilarious.
Mommy and Daddy bought the shoes before, and we had bought him a pair of shoes, and he wanted a different pair of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to do that. All we have to do is make sure that you have some.
Right.
This other pair is not. It's
a necessity.
Right.
Yeah,
this is recreational.
Right.
You don't need it. So he was like, "I'll buy my own." Sure.
Okay.
Go right ahead. Oh gosh. When he realized that they were $190
wow.
he was like, "This is highway robbery."
And so what makes it so bad, right? But when Mom and them do it,
you gotta have it.
And what makes it so bad? These people buy those stupid shoes before they pay their bills.
Yes.
I don't understand. But anyway, that's a whole other
It's society.
Let me not get into
that. Society teaches. I was just saying today, my nonprofit is offering credit repair for the first 100 clients for $100.
Oh, cool.
For 3 months.
Okay.
So 3 months credit repair for $100.
Nice.
And here's the thing. People still are complaining about the amount.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to say, we will spend $5 on Starbucks. We will spend $50 to get our nails done. We will spend hundreds of dollars to get our hair done. We will spend money on whatever we want to spend it on. On things that have no impact on your life. But when someone asks you to invest in your future, you have to think about it and say that it's probably not the best time to do it. I was just floored. I was like, people are crazy to me.
Now, I know one guy, he's offering credit repair, and his is $1,500.
Yes, they're expensive.
So for her to say $100,
they're expensive. Man. And even our regular prices are affordable because that's not what this is for. We're not here to rape you, take advantage of you. What we're trying to do is better your situation. So our regular prices are $79.99 enrollment and $89.99 a month.
That's not bad.
And it only takes 4 to 6 months to repair your credit.
Really?
Yes. 4 to 6 months. 4 to 6 months.
There's a deal, y'all. There's a deal. There's a deal, y'all. There's a deal. Miss Tanya Williams says, congratulations. I teach my kids on finance, but because I messed up, so
but that's the best way. That's
the
best teacher. When you know what you did wrong, it's easy to teach your kids the right way to do it.
Yeah, I had to do that with my kids.
Right.
And I was like, do not do what I did. Right. Don't wait till 40 to buy a house. You need to buy a house now. Take care of your credit. Right. You know, so I've been trying to teach them that.
Oh, Jenny, that's awesome.
Oh, well, about down here.
Yeah.
Glam Glam also says, I found that doing business with my local credit union versus a big bank institution has much more successful outcomes.
They give you a better rate.
To loans.
They'll give you a better rate. I'm not sure if your credit unions will give you a huge amount. Now, Bank of America and those, this is where I obtained my huge business funding for 50 at Bank of America. So the banks will give you more money, but the local credit unions will give you better rates.
Okay. Yeah, my credit union doesn't even do business.
A lot of them don't.
A lot of them don't. Yeah, hurt my feelings. Like, what? So I'm going through Wells Fargo. Sheila Cushionberry says, just shows you're feeling a void missed by the educational system.
I am trying. I'm actually pushing now to do a tour of the colleges to be able to talk with the freshmen and high school students about finances.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's what we're working on.
Oh my God, they need to hit the high school.
Yes, that's what we're working on.
But at least the college kids are kind of like at more mature.
More focused on the amount of money that they're trying to spend.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Jeannie, this is what you were talking about. Yeah. I'm so proud of my son. He's 28 and autistic. He gets an allowance and puts it in the bank. He has a debit card and he keeps track of everything he spends. That's awesome. Excellent.
Yeah, that is.
Sylvia, now, there with the hurricanes and stuff down there, it was a mess. And I've been able to keep in touch with her and make sure everything's okay. But there were a lot of viewers that would watch with her. They would get together and watch the live sessions when I would have them. Some of them passed away because of the lack of electricity and no oxygen. They couldn't get the oxygen things to run. So it was horrible. It was horrible. But I do appreciate being able to keep in touch with her. And know that she's okay. So I definitely appreciate Miss Sylvia every time she shows up in my chat.
Oh, gosh.
Sheila Cuffy says, hello, everyone. Hello to you, Miss Cuffy. Thank you for being here. Miss Bickham says, congratulations on that bestseller.
Thank you so much. Ring the bell for me. Thank you.
Sheila Cuffy, we are discussing financing, business funding. If you're looking at expanding your business at any point in time, what steps you should be looking to take in order to get funding. Because that's one of the things, I don't know if I mentioned it to you, but our embroidery equipment is expensive.
I can imagine.
It's
I see a lot.
Very, very expensive. Right. So it's like now I'm looking to add another machine because of how huge and how quickly my business has expanded. But when you're looking at $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, that's a lot of money to be coming up with and having to make sure that my business funds will cover those payments. Right. So that's why we're talking to her today, because if you're going to take your business to that next level in 2018, you really need to know the facts. And I was not the person to tell you the facts because I'm not. I'm not. So we brought in an expert, and Miss Tamika has been phenomenal and willing to come and talk to us without charging me an arm and a leg. Because one person was like, "Oh, I get paid." I'm sure you do. I don't. So let's see if we can't find somebody that's willing to help us. So, yeah, that's a trip.
Yeah, Tracy, it's hard.
It is. It is. Bickham says, my daughter asked, do you have to be local to work with you on the credit repair?
No, ma'am, you do not. What we do is we are bonded, and specific states require us to be licensed in the areas that we work in. So we're all over.
Okay, cool.
We're all over.
Tracy Jones asked, what's the name of your book? There's 3 books for Miss Tamika.
There's 3. One is Morgan Saves for College. That's the kids' book. And then we have Why Pay Cash? Credit is Better. And then the Ingredients to Better Credit. They are all on Amazon.com.
And the links are in the description below. They are not my affiliate links either. They're just straight links to her book. So please go out and support those books. I know I'm going to go get definitely that kid's book because I love learning. Because see, my line of thinking is if it can teach a kid, it can teach me.
Right.
You know, so that's why I try to go as simple as possible. and then we'll branch out to the other two books because I know I need them. But at any rate, we're going to skip over that. God's Child 21 says, my son is now 28. He tells me all the time that he knows now what I was saying when he was in high school because he's on his own. Hi, everyone. I knew. Yes, I have not seen you in our channel before, so thank you for being here, God's Child 21. We really appreciate that, and thank you for tuning in. But that is something that my oldest son, he's 25, and he now has 2 kids, a new baby and a 2-year-old. And, you know, I talked to him and I'm like, how you doing, son? Tired? I bet you are. You should have thought of that. But at any rate, he does really well with his credit. He listens. He makes sure that he pays attention to his finances, works with his wife. So he does really well too. And that's the definite thing with making sure that the kids have that foundation. And I appreciate you. Again, I can't say it enough. Thank you for coming in and talking to us. Miss Nellie Smith says hello to the group. Thanks to both of you for this informative discussion.
You're very welcome.
You are welcome. You are welcome. So if anyone has any other questions, please feel free to post it here. I mentioned she does have books. She also does the credit repair, which is phenomenal. What's the name of the business again?
Credit Solution Services.
Credit Solution Services. And the link to her website is down below. Her business number is down below. The 3 books are down below. So we wanted to make sure that you had access to a phenomenal resource to get the information that you need if you wanted to get funding for your business. Okay. So, DSA Daisy, thank you for this information. I was just reviewing my business structure and writing a business plan just this weekend.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is.
Don't forget that you need to put in financials. 3 years financials need to go in your business plan.
What if you don't have 3 years? Like you're just starting.
It doesn't matter.
So put in what you have.
You put in what you have. Your first year is going to be 0. Your second and third year is going to be what you estimate you're going to gain from your business. And what you're doing.
Okay. Cool. Didn't know that. Didn't know that. And if you can't do a business plan, like I can't do a business plan,
we do offer.
She does business plans. They offer it. So yes, that is amazing. Leah Smaldello, hi, hello to you, my dear. Thank you for being here. Joni Thurman says, Eve, this is awesome information. God bless you always for thinking about us. I appreciate that, Joni, because I know sometimes you just don't know where to get your information. So I wanted to make sure that whatever information you received was accurate. So yes, it's definitely a phenomenal thing for her to come. I keep saying phenomenal because I'm just like overwhelmed right here. Carol Coleman says, very informative. Thank you so much. Miss Lorraine Cotton, thank you for being here, my dear. She says, so it's better to use credit instead of cash. Why?
Well, it's better to use credit instead of cash because let's look at life now. Let's look at society now. Back early on, we always talked about retirement. Right. Retirement.
Right.
With the crash of the Wall Street and the market in 2009,
right,
jobs have become few and far between.
Right.
You don't have retirement as you did before.
Right.
So if you are in the position, Lorraine, to use all of the money that you have to pay all of the things that you need to pay, then absolutely do that. As long as once you're using all of your money, you still have money available to be able to live off of.
Right.
You never want to take your retirement money to use that or all of that to live on, especially when you're not in a retired state. Credit is so much more powerful than your money. And the reason being is because if you have $100,000 in your account in cash, I can go and get $100,000 in credit and use that and keep my $100,000 in my account. So I'm double. I'm one up on you. I've got $200,000 at this point that I can leverage to your $100,000. At this point in societies in the millennium, you want to have all of your money in your bank account. Just want to have the cash as a backup. Credit is always going to be so much better than spending all of your hard-earned money. People always say, I'm going to pay cash for everything.
Yeah,
and I always tell them,
philosophy.
But here's the thing, because I said it at one point in my life. That's only because I knew that I couldn't use my credit.
You ain't never lied.
Okay. I couldn't use my credit.
That was a philosophy in the beginning. You're right. You're
right.
I
would say I'm just gonna pay cash for everything.
Right. You're right.
So you can't blame yourself at one point in your life where life happened and your credit was not in a good place.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't know how to manage the credit, so we messed our credit up.
Right.
We messed it up. So then you said, I'm gonna pay cash for everything.
I did.
But that's only because you can't use your credit.
Right.
You can't use it. So
right.
that's why
I didn't think about it like that.
So when I have some of those people that'll tell me I'm gonna use cash for everything, and I say, oh, that's awesome. So let's talk about you buying a house.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're gonna use cash for everything, let's go buy a house. The house that you want and what you're talking about. And I usually do a scenario of, I want 3 bedrooms, 2 baths.
Right.
I want a nice backyard.
Right.
So you're probably looking at anywhere from 150,
175.
Right. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Let's pull out
in North Carolina.
Let's pull out $175,000 out of your account and let's go and buy the house.
Right.
Oh, you don't have $175,000.
No.
Okay, so how long do you think it's going to take you to save $175,000?
Yeah.
Do you think you can get that in like 2 weeks?
No.
Because they're not going to keep the house on the market long enough. So I tell people, let's be real. Let's be real. Credit is always better if you are responsible with the credit that you have.
Okay. All right. Well, we have Miss Bickham. She says, do you offer bookkeeping?
We do not. We do not at this time. We do have a CPA that works with us, but she is so booked up right now. If I even tried to give her a bookkeeper, I might quit, and I can't do that. I don't have anybody else
the baby to quit.
Right.
We don't want her to quit.
I do have a YouTube channel, and I think the name of the channel is, and please forgive me because I have my manager that handles all of that. It's called Still Hope Enrichment. Because that's the name of my nonprofit. But what I will do is I will make sure to get my YouTube channel name over to Eve, and then she can just drop it in for you guys to have it.
Yep, definitely. I'll end up putting it in the description whenever I receive it, and I'll share it in the Google Plus group for those who are in the group. Hello from Houston, says Veronica Anderson. Valerie Cleveland says, thank you so much. I will be calling you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I look forward to talking to you.
Miss Ethel Smith says, Miss Tamika, thank you. You will hear from me. Miss Eve, thank you. You're welcome, my dear.
Oh, awesome.
Lorraine, thank you so much. I was debating on that credit. Here I
come. Lorraine, just be responsible with the credit.
Yeah.
Like, the way it affects your score is a lot of people think that all they have to do is just pay their bills on time. That's not how you build your score.
That I do.
You have to have revolving credit.
Yeah.
You have to have credit cards. You have to have installments.
Yeah.
So when you purchase a home, your home is considered an installment debt.
Right.
You have to have credit cards in order to balance out your scores.
Right.
So to keep your scores, when you get these credit cards, make sure that you do not spend more than 30% of the high balance that they give you.
Yeah.
As long as you stay under 30%, your scores will stay high.
Yes.
When you go above that, when you max out your cards, this is why your scores drop very low. Yes. Because utilization counts for 30% of your credit score.
Ooh, shit. I knew about 30% on the cards, and that was what I teach my kids, or I was teaching them, and they still stick with that. Well, most of them. I got one that she got self-control like her mama child. So, we don't know about her. Miss Veronica Anderson says, thanks for this information. Eve, when are you coming to Joann's in Houston? I will be. I will be in Houston next week. So we're looking at Saturday, one day, this coming Saturday, and I'll let you guys know, as I mentioned in the Google Plus group, exactly what time I'll go to the Joann's. And we determined which one it was, but I can't remember right now, and I apologize. So what I may do is just go ahead and do, like a little separate informational video here on YouTube if you're not in the Google Plus group, so that you'll know exactly when that is. Glam Glam says, thank you. Now, Terry Starling, your question is pretty much what I was going to ask as well. Does that 30% apply to business credit also?
If the business credit is a revolving debt, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because you have a score for business credit, and it's called the paydex score. And that's for DUNS.
Okay.
DUNS number is the paydex score.
Okay.
And they pull businesses will report on your Experian, because you can pull an Experian business report.
Okay.
As well as an Equifax.
Okay.
Business report.
Okay.
Yes. So those are the two reports that are going to have the information that you need on it. When you go to Dun and Bradstreet's website, it also allows you to pull your report. It costs $100 to pull the report, but you can pull the report and see that your business credit is working.
That's cool. That's cool. Now, similar to that question I was going to ask, because I know on personal credit, it is possible to have too much credit. So is that similar with business credit? Is it?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Cool.
They want you. The more business credit you got that you can maintain, the less reluctant they are to give you.
Wow.
Because when I originally first started out and trying to get a business loan, I was turned down. Not because of my score, but because I had limited business credit.
Okay.
But I had some. Right. I had about 5 or 6, and I'm thinking, well, that's good.
Right. I would have thought
they wanted me to have more.
Wow.
They wanted me to
that is a trip. Yeah. Okay. All right. Janet McKinney says, I have a lot of hospital bills. Will that stop me from getting a loan? Also, should I have a bank account and should I use my credit card to buy everything? Also, do I need a tax ID? Ms. McKinney, I guess you came in a little bit later. Because the tax ID, we did say yes. You should go ahead and get a tax ID number, whether you feel like you're going to use it for business credit or anything now or not. Bank account, definitely. You should want to have any of your business financing and funding separate from your personal account. For me, until I get my Wells Fargo set up, because that's who I'm going through, PayPal has been doing everything for me. I do everything PayPal. So I have business PayPal. Now, as far as the hospital bills, will that stop her from getting a loan?
Depends on what your score is with the hospital bill. Now, for most things, like when you buy a house, no one really cares too much about the medical. They don't care about the medical accounts showing. Is correct. But if the medical or hospital bills are affecting your score, then you want to work on having those removed.
Okay. All right. God's Child says, I just paid off all my cars. So happy. Is it a good idea to close them? I do know is a no.
That is an absolute no-go. Yeah. Because what happens is when you close it, you lose the history. Right. Your score is based off the history of open accounts that you have. Paying them off is great. Never close them out, because when you close it out, that history is wiped away. So keep them open. You don't have to use them. Only you make sure you use them within a 12-month period. Don't use them in 12 months. The lender will close it out. Mm-hmm. So just go and get a stick of gum. Get a pack of gum. Right. Get a pack of gum. Let it roll over. Tank of gas. Whatever you need to do that one time a month to keep the account open, but never close them out. It will drastically drop your credit score.
Miss Sylvia says, you girls opened our eyes. Thank you. We talking about your topic. We'll hear from us in Puerto Rico. I appreciate that, dear. Definitely let me know how things are going and if you need any more information. And God's Child said, okay, thank you so much. Yeah, the credit thing is huge when you have some guidance, because there's, that was an eye-opener for me when I was prior to purchasing my house a couple of years ago and learned about the 30% on a credit card. I was like, wait a minute, what? So I'm not supposed to use the credit? And they were like, no, using the credit, you're using too much of it. And I was like, wait a minute.
Right.
But when I listened and paid them down to 30%, my score jumped like 70 points. Mm-hmm. So I know for a fact that is definitely the gospel. I saw it for myself. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the credit card and just learning about credit, and it's amazing to know that business credit and personal credit goes hand in hand, but there is still a difference. And I do appreciate that. It is. Yes. Lorraine said, I did that yesterday because she wasn't using some of her credit cards, so she closed some of them.
You closed them?
I'm assuming that's what she was saying. Or were you saying you paid it off? Terry says, thank you so much, ladies, for all of the information and for your time. I learned a lot.
Oh, I'm so glad, Terry. I'm so glad.
This was very informative. I mean, even for me, I don't know everything and definitely ain't putting a lot of stuff in practice. So it's going to be, she used them because you had.
My heart had stopped because I was hoping that you were going to say you used them.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's what's up.
And if anybody is here that is watching this and you do embroidery or you do something and you don't have a business, want to start a business, especially with the new tax reform that's in now.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody that has a business has the potential to to obtain a much larger refund, if not, or receive one, or break even. with the tax reform this year. So if you've been doing this kind of work and you've just not been filing it on your returns, you need to file it on your returns, because the tax reform for 2018 is going to be a benefit for you and your business.
Cool. Didn't know that.
Even if you're not happy with it, be happy with it having a business.
Right.
Be happy with it having
I've been
a business.
hearing a lot about it. I haven't had an opportunity yet because I've been working so much lately. But it is time for taxes to be filed, so I really need to buckle down and get into it. And that's going to be step one as soon as I touch back into Charlotte. So Leah says, thank you for your info. Yes, it was very good. Very good here. So thank you guys. I appreciate you for tuning in. We do have one bell that we need to ring, and I wrote it down and don't know where I wrote it. Ain't that a shame? It was Terry. See, she's smart enough. Yeah, I don't. Is it Terry?
It was Terry. I thought it was Terry.
I'm pretty sure it probably is. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Terry Starling. Yes. Terry Starling got a new baby. Tell us what your baby is again, Terry, so that we can ring the bell for you. Welcome, she said yes. What's your baby again, darling? And if anyone else got a new machine recently, please let us know. We want to ring the bell and celebrate because we like new babies. We sure do around here. Singer Patura Quartet. So let's ring the bell. Congratulations. We love ringing the bells around here. So they don't know I got something else up my sleeve. That rhymes with spaghetti. I'm just going to leave it right there. So we're going to have some more fun when we get there. Sheila says, thank you for your knowledge and sharing it with us. You're welcome, Miss Sheila. Carol Coleman, thank you, Miss Tamika. And happy embroidering. I haven't logged us yet, so give us a second before we get happy with our embroidery. Janet McKinney says, you go, girl. Miss Bickup says, when you have to use more than 30% on one of your cards, but pay it off before the month is over, will that hurt your credit as well? No.
It does not, but make sure that when you pay it off, you're paying it off before the due date.
Before the due date.
Because if you don't pay it off before the due date, then it's going to report on your credit that the balance that you had is what's going to be on there, and it's going to affect your score. And you don't want your score to keep rocking up and down.
Right. I remember that trick, girl. I had to use that.
Yeah, you have to. Right. But I've done that too. Things have happened. Life has happened.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you can't use your card. Life happens, but you just have to put a plan in place. It's about being responsible. Put the plan in place. If you know that you have $3,000 on your card and you need to use $2,000 of it, as long as you go in and do 3,000 times 30%, and you know not to exceed that amount, even if you can't pay all of it back, you pay enough of it so that it drops your balance down to under 30%. So don't feel like you can't use the cards. Just be responsible with them. Because when someone, if you know anyone that says, I'll never get a credit card again, tell them that it is a huge mistake. That in order for, people always say, when you ask people what credit score they want, they say, I want a 700 or 800 credit score.
Right.
You cannot, hear me, you cannot have a 700 or 800 credit score without revolving debt.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
I didn't know that.
You cannot. You have to have revolving debt.
Wow.
Because the revolving debt, the balance of how many different accounts that you have is what brings your score up.
Okay.
You can always do credit simulations, and what that is that you can go to a website that pulls reports and add in, what if I open up a new card for this amount? What if I purchase a new car for this amount? It'll tell you how it's going to affect your score.
Didn't know that.
Also know that a lot of us are using Credit Karma to gauge our credit scores.
I know a lot of people
Credit Karma is not what lenders use qualifying.
Right.
Credit Karma score is probably going to be anywhere from 10 to 20 points less than what FICO scoring is.
Right.
So if you're ever interested in knowing what your actual credit scores are, and you should know what they are, go to myfico.com or creditchecktotal.com, and they will give you all three scores, FICO scores, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. And I think they have a special right now where you can get all three of them for $1.
Wow.
Yes.
That's cool. Now, I've been a member of Equifax.com and TransUnion.com for years. So I could get my score, my credit report anytime because I pay once a month. So. Wait a minute. Hold Hold up. Let me scroll up. Angie T says it's 1 a.m. here, so I'm off to bed now. Thanks,
night,
ladies.
Angie.
Good night. Thank you. Terry, you're welcome. Gosh, child, do you have to make over a certain amount to file? Business income, I guess.
No, because let me explain to you that you can take a loss for the first 2 years of your business and it not affect you negatively on a business. The first 2 years that you start a business, you can take a loss. And what that is your startup. So you add in everything that you had to put in to start up the business. And of course, you're going to have a loss. It doesn't affect you. Now, they start looking at you more stringently if you're 3 and 4 years in and you're still taking a loss. So you're going to have to do some
why are you still not making
That
makes sense. That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, let's see. Catherine Carr says she got a new baby lock flourish, so let's ring for her. Congratulations, Miss Catherine. And Miss Sprint 29able, thanks so much. You got a new baby lock flourish. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm going to ring a bell for me some point. Catherine says, thank you so much, Sylvia. You're our angel. God bless you, girls. Thank you, ma'am. Harriet Anderson says, thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Cat says, I was listening, sewing some leggings.
All right, now.
That's good. I'm going to get you to get some leggings
for me.
Girl.
I'm going to need some leggings.
We're going to have to get up with you, girl. Yeah, Nellie Smith, sorry I will miss you in Houston due to a class here in Austin, but thank you both so much.
You're
no
welcome.
problem, dear. I will probably be going back to Houston in, I think it was April, something like that. So, yeah. Lorraine says, I use Equifax.
Yeah, me too.
Because my thing is, that's where the score is coming from. I might as well get it from the horse's mouth.
Right, but understand that Equifax is not FICO either. Equifax is Vantage Point.
I didn't know that.
It's a Vantage score. So your Equifax score may be less than when you pull your FICO score.
That's the truth. Thank you, Ms. Godchild. You're welcome. Sheila Cuffey, what was the one for the credit $4?
Both. You can do myfico.com. I think they have a special. If they don't, then credit check total. So it's credit, CHECK total.com. So creditchecktotal.com.
Okay. And after the thing is over, we'll put links for both of those in the description below so that you will have easy access to that. Because I didn't know about either one of them, actually. I heard of Credit Karma. I don't like Credit Karma. But for my own personal...
You only get two scores, and a lot of people get stated on that. Think that that's their score, and then when they apply for something, they tell them that their scores are 20 points less than what they thought. Then they're
yeah. See, and I've heard too many discrepancies myself, so that's why I was like, I'm not trying to hear it. Right. Alrighty, ladies. Well, it is 8 p.m. and you know I don't like to hold you too much longer than 8 o'clock because an hour goes by really quickly, but it also drags on if you can't get it on out of there. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, please hit the like button if you found this video helpful, because of course that's what we want. We want to be helpful to you. Also, thank you again to Miss Tamika
Thank you so much
for coming. Me. Please check out her books. Please check out her website if you need her assistance. Her information is in the description below. And as always, we really want to appreciate all of you for tuning in on a regular basis here to the Baby Booty.
Thank you, guys.
So, as always, I want you to have happy embroidery. All right. So, we'll see you later. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.